Howard Samura here, Subway Head of the Class 2017 Revisited. Our guest today, a graduate of 2005's Head of the Class. It's Tyrell from White Rock Christian Academy. And Tyrell, thanks for joining us. I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to revisit with you.
It's a great reunion. Thanks for having me.
Take us back. I guess this would be now 12 years. You're a high school student, a basketball star, a track star at White Rock Christian Academy. What did it mean to you that year to be honored in the province's Head of the Class?
I mean, it's a great experience overall, and there are a whole bunch of different aspects that made it really exciting for me. The biggest one was this acknowledgement of everything I had learned to date in the sport of basketball and really in my life. So all of us being top athletes, I think you start to realize that sport is so much than just the sport that you're playing, the game of basketball, what happens on the court. It's actually about all of these different tools and vehicles that you get to use to learn about life. And early on, I realized that I had this opportunity through this sport to learn about leadership and become a leader to my teammates, but also to the people in my school. And I had this great fortune of getting to play at White Rock Christian Academy, where there were kindergarten kids and grade 1s and grade 2s. And I kind of realized that, hey, the things that I'm doing, both on and off the court, are having this impact outside of the sport of basketball. The second thing is to connect with all of those other people that were in the class and build those relationships, even to the point now where I'm friends with some of those people and seeing the incredible impact that they've had in the 12 years since.
That's great to hear that it's had that kind of an impact on you. It's interesting because clearly basketball was your athletic identity in high school, right through an NCAA basketball career as well. And it is amazing to see that these days you're on a different quest. You're holding a discus in your hands, and give us the details. First, tell us what it's called, what you're doing, what you're attempting to do, and why it is that you're attempting to do this at an age that might be a little bit later than some people would take on a challenge like this.
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, I embarked on essentially a 2,100 consecutive day journey to go from roughly zero, the starting line, to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, throwing discus for Team Canada. The backstory to this Olympic journey is I threw discus in high school, although it looked a lot different, and I really didn't enjoy it. But as I was leaving to go down and play basketball at Division I NCAA school, my track coach at the time planted this little seed in my head, and he said, Tyrell, if you really want to do something that you're good at, that you're built to do, come back whenever you're done playing basketball and we'll go to the Olympics. And so almost 10 years later to the month, I came back to my coach and his son, who is now my full-time coach, Garrett, and said, I'm ready. If you guys want to go on this journey together, let's sit down and talk about it. A week later, we were sitting down, and here we are, some 1,250 days into the journey so far, and yeah, it's been amazing.
Tell us how you feel about retraining your body and to be competing to make the ultimate athletic challenge. How has it gone?
It is the hardest thing I've ever done. Probably 90% of the days that I train in this 2,100 day journey are going to be terrible. They're going to feel really bad. I'm not going to throw well. I'm spending all of these days for one throw, right? Ideally one throw that'll get me into the Olympics, and then hopefully a really good throw at the Olympics, right? So I can really represent my country well. You
have some great ability as a motivational speaker, and that is also a part of how your career is building towards. Talk about that a bit.
Yeah, so again, this goes back to head of the class and this whole experience about what I learned in high school, not just about the sport of basketball, not just about myself as an athlete, but myself as a human being and what I really love to do. And I think it's this concept in my head that I know in every interaction that I have, right? Every person that I meet on the street, every time I get up in front of a group and talk, I have this opportunity to have some kind of positive impact or positive influence on people. And largely I do that through my own story and my own experiences, and I love talking about that, whether it's on a blog on my website or standing up in front of a few hundred people and sharing some of those really hard things that I've gone through. Times where I would cry myself to sleep for weeks on end in high school, and even now, frankly, as I struggle towards this passion of mine. My goal is that in 20 years, I can still have these conversations with people to kind of enable the greatest human potential in all of us, right? Because I think that's what I see when I connect with people.
Thanks for joining us, sir. We really appreciate it today.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful to be here.